Alright, so we'll be playing some Nidalee in the top lane. This is going to be a ranked Diamond 3 game. Nidalee is very strong at the moment. She has a very high mechanical skill cap. If you want to use her to her fullest extent. Irelia is seen somewhat as a counter pick just because she has the gap closers necessary to jump onto Nidalee and punish her. But overall, I hope to show you some of the tips and tricks that can go into playing Nidalee at a high level. Seeing as you guys have been talking about her quite a bit lately, and it's been a while also since I've made a video about the top lane. Or even recorded something of use. So we'll get into this. I'll be right back.
Summoner's Rift.
You call this civilized?
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Right. So in terms of the scaling you guys were talking about earlier, Nidalee can build AD, but it's only her Q and her Cougar form, and only her Cougar form, which scales with AD. You can see the orange numbers here. So in essence, her execute damage does scale with AD, and that does make her a fearsome split pusher slash duelist. In the top lane, I run her as a split push Nidalee. I will be building most likely Iceborne Gauntlet or Triforce, depending on how far ahead I get. I think Triforce will work really well against this team. And I take W at level 1, just for that. Irelia has gone for pots, so you can see use both your ranged and your melee to abuse. Starting with Doran's Blade again allows you to get off this strong harass. You see, and you need to punish the opponent every time they miss their ability like that, for example. She used her equilibrium strike on a minion, and that was her level 1 play. And she punished me for missing my pounce, so it's all even now. I probably should have taken heal for level 2, but it's fine. Don't miss CS like that. Take my heal at level 3.
Call this civilized?
And again, you'll take minion aggro every time you attack the enemy. There's fire in the mid lane. Just keep yourself topped off. You can see the wave is pushing towards her, so what I want to do is just clear this out and then head to mid, because that's where the party's at right now. Bad by Twisted Fate.
First blood. An enemy has been slain. You have slain an
There's the spear to finish her off. I forgot about Vi. So it depends. What you can do is I would take the Q just for the execution damage, and since I got 1 kill, I'm ahead. Otherwise, the safer thing to do is just to level up your heal, really, because the heal gives you sustain. You can see she activated her true damage right now, so I'm not going to trade with that. It's a bit too much to deal with. And I missed again right there. The minion wave is not in my favor right now, so I don't really want to trade. I really took ignite as well, so honestly, just go for little pokes like that, especially when you have blue buff and red buff.
enemy has been slain.
See how much poke I'm getting down. She has the pot up right now. And I have blue buff, so I can continue to just spam. So every time Irelia activates her true damage, don't even bother fighting. It's not worth your time. It's not worth your HP.
You cannot give me something.
See, that's where it's worth it right there. And she has to back off from this because of that execute damage I put into the Q. And that's another thing to note as well when you play in the top lane, or really any lane, is what is the skill that they're maxing, and from there you'll be able to know whether or not you can win duels. So against a Nidalee, if they're maxing their Q and you get tagged by the spear or the trap, you can't win the duel immediately. You have to back off. So push here. Vi is definitely coming, or not. That missed terribly. So I don't have my double buff right now. Vi's bottom though, so you see with Vi bottom, I'm just gonna continue to put pressure topside.
This civilized?
I should buy soon though.
An ally has been slain.
My bottom is getting crushed.
Enemy has been slain.
Your end's the same.
I need to push out this wave. I need to push out this wave and use your leap away to avoid any kind of nonsense like that. So that was really good by Irelia. She looked at when exactly I was going to activate my my javelin toss that would have allowed me to trade.
The way.
And I still got that CS right there.
Instinct guides my
So there's a few tricks. Like you saw right there, what I did was after my auto attack, then I threw out my javelin, and she's freezing right now. So this is a really good time for me to go back. Gonna get the phage right now, and I still have my TP. And you see the freeze is a perfect time to go back because I didn't lose any CS. So I'm gonna force her back into the tower.
You call this civilized?
Just gonna TP here and secure the kill, just like that. They should be able. I don't know why. Very awkwardly from Leona, she ultied there.
An enemy has been slain.
That was bad by me. In the end it worked out for them though. So you could see that TP, why exactly I chose the TP right there is because a lot had already been committed by both Vi as well as Morgana.
An enemy has been slain.
Prey on the civilized.
Oh, lag. Oh, it's good that it's happening now though, and not later.
You cannot cave.
Oh, that lag was scary. There's the true damage coming out. She has to back off from that. I'm not sure if I'm being baited in here because I think Vi might be around. I definitely want vision on Vi before going in on this because just throwing her away.
I will guide you.
There she is. There's Vi. So my
Show you the way.
predictions are right. And that's one of the easiest ways, honestly, to tell if you're being baited in or not. If you're on an execute champion and the enemy just doesn't like doesn't back off,
My steps.
the enemy doesn't back off when they're low enough to be executed. Like I really was in execute range right there, especially. Well, I didn't have my Sheen just yet, but she was so low, and yet she was still in lane. That's one of the most obvious cases of a bait. But I'm doing really well for myself. Yes, Irelia has caught up in terms of CS. Oh man, I shouldn't have missed that. But what I can do now, and again, why I chose to buy boost and not just attack speed, the dagger on with my limited gold right there, is because the boots are going to help me so much more with chasing, moving in between lanes.
Has been slain. Dominating.
So that was a bit of a risky play by me because I didn't know whether or not Morgana still had her flash, and if she had flashed away from that, I wouldn't have been able to chase.
On the prowl.
Aurelia is doing a good amount of damage now though, so I do need to be careful. I am in a position where my health is low enough. With her ignite, she could definitely kill me,
Me summon
so I need to be very careful. Yeah, to secure last hits for yourself on the tower, especially for the the cannon minions, you can use your execute in Cougar form.
Killing spree.
So TF has done a good job affecting both lanes.
will guide you.
And what I want to do here is so that was beautiful aggro swapping, if I might say so myself, between both me and Nautilus. So you could see what he did is he activated his ultimate. I rather flashed away from that actually. It's hard to say because she was thinking that if she got locked down there would be enough damage for me to just finish her off right there. Which is hard to argue. You know, I don't think she's wrong. But a higher percentage play would of course have been the oh, didn't manage to get it. Head into the bush. It's okay. I tagged her already, so she's pretty much dead. I'm not even gonna bother chasing that.
Has been slain.
Call this
With the way this is going, okay, I should just go back to top to hold the tower. So in a very close game where every objective counts, you should be with your team to take the dragon, because they could still force, you know, maybe a 4-on-4. Actually no, 4-on-3, because Aurelia still isn't. No TP on Aurelia, sorry. And recognize your power spikes too, especially when you're in top lane. I think something that's not done often enough is
Your team has
people always just say like, oh, you know, it's like fighting, or it's just like one-on-one. Sometimes it just becomes a farm fest. But I think what people don't recognize is that you're farming to a point. I mean, this is common to all champions, but you're farming to a point, and then when you reach that point, you know, and that point being, for example, Trinity Force, you know, against Aurelia is like bits of a Trinity Force.
guide.
your team has destroyed.
You should go aggressive. You can see she can't fight right now. She's still dead. So, you know, for those people that are like, ah, blah blah, farming up to a point is so boring. Yeah, farming is a pain. Nobody said it wasn't, but treat it as, you know, treat it as a mini game to get
I will guide you.
to a certain point. treat it as a mini game, like a bit of a time trial. Who can reach their first big, core item the fastest?
Let me show you the way.
Because the moment you reach a core item, quickly, such as Trinity Force, it really opens up a lot of options, especially defensively. I think that's something that people don't value enough. So because I already have enough damage at this point in time, what I can do is just build defense, a Ninja Tabi, Giant Spell, and let my damage as it is just work in my favor. I'm gonna let my team know I have TP in 2 minutes so that they know I won't be able to join them if I'm at top side of the map. Okay, a little bit more on Nidalee mechanics. Always try and pounce into the... Okay, big fight going on right now. But, okay, you see the moment that happens, the moment your team gets 1 kill, and you guys are already ahead, you should just be able to push on. Always remember to use your attack speed when you're pushing. Your Q in Cougar form does a bit more damage. You can see 192 right there. Oh, sorry, no, that's not even from the Q. That's my bad. I don't think Q affects towers, but it's the it's the Sheen procs, right? The Sheen procs. Sorry. Can test that. So this would be Sheen damage, 193, 192. Oh, okay. So it does have a bit of damage. Keep an eye on the mini map. How high up is everybody? I don't need to take this tower again. There's no pressure for me to do anything super crazy at this moment. Just go for the safe percentage plays. The red buff, which will make me into an unstoppable chasing machine. It doesn't cost me anything. So the skill order, if you're ahead again for Nidalee, should be Q first. But this is only if you're ahead, and I'm stressing this as conditional again because it's not the safest path. It's not the safest path. It really isn't. And there's nothing I can really do here for my team except push. So I'm just gonna back off now. That's it. That's game. That's game. Right. Our team was so far ahead it didn't matter. Even when they got those kills at the end. So yeah, I'll go over the runes and masteries a little bit, and I think more importantly, run over some of the plays in the game that made that a very successful Nidalee game. So just a moment, because my comm is really crappy and laggy. Let's see, is it recorded? Okay. Oh, Fox is actually on my friends list, so I recognize Sin as well, and VIILX. Let's see, where's Fox? Fox is Challenger. Right, so that was a very high level game. Let's take a look at the recently played. So, just to give you a gauge of what level that ELO game was. Plat 1 and Diamond 3. Diamond 1, Nautilus definitely did a fantastic job. Diamond 2, Snappy, he was good, he helped control the bottom lane Snowball. Diamond 1 in the top lane. So 112 at Relic Games, guys. I was able to defeat this guy with an Ignite against Teleport, mind you, right? And I'll go over some of the plays later. So the Diamond 1 top lane, I don't even think I'm Diamond 1 level. I think at most I'm mid Diamond 2. If I really applied myself, maybe high Diamond 2, Diamond 1, not at this point in time. What with school and all. So mid lane there was a bit of a mismatch, excuse me, because of Plat 1, but in the bottom lane was a bit of a mismatch as well. Diamond 2 support and a challenger AD, they were definitely doing a good job controlling or winning that lane even, and it was this guy Snappy with his Twisted Fate play that helped to equalize that. And why I say bottom lane is so important, or why I say that that's interesting, or why I even bother bringing that up, is because in the top lane, you have to do well. You have to go even at least with your team, or with your champion. Sorry, you have to go even with your champion so that your team benefits. Right. So let me go over some of the runes and masteries that I used for Nidalee as a split push champion. Runes. Okay, this isn't an optimal page. You can see it's for AD carries. Why this page isn't optimal, I'll point out what is optimal, what isn't. Attack damage early on for Nidalee is great, and this is something you can put in for your AD carry page or any of your like auto attack champions. Having 0.93 crit chance is just a bit of cheese, so like in the off chance that you get like that one crit early game when it comes to a duel, and then you just win, you know, like just from that crit, you can just start a snowball going. Excuse me. You sacrifice like 1 point of attack damage. It's well worth it. What's not optimal here? What is optimal here is some armor, have a little bit of scaling health. If you want to just have a strong early game, you can change this to just flat health. I don't go all armor because health was buffed in the recent rune overhaul a few patches back, so health is strong. Like I said, scaling health of course takes some time to kick in, so if you want just that strong level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go for flat. Flat magic resist mixed with scaling magic resist. This is just to even things out. And what's not optimal here is the 4.5 attack speed. Nidalee doesn't need that bonus attack speed. She gets it purely, she gets more than enough attack speed purely from her primal surge, her heal. Yeah, attack damage quints. So these two on Nidalee a bit wasted, but I don't have another page. This is the closest to, or close enough to what I find that Nidalee can still be played and make the plays that I want to. I know some people run, for example, movement speed on Nidalee, which makes her even stronger. There were a few times, for example, where I was just a few units a little too far behind. I really had to complete one of my jumps, one of my pounces, and movement speed would have helped with that. And again, this is a pretty good standard page that you can use for a lot of champions, I find. So if you're wondering, like, do I need a specific page for Nidalee? No, you can see how it's effective even with just like an AD carry page, right? Just be aware that I am pointing out to you that the attack speed quints are not necessary on Nidalee, so don't feel like you have to invest in these. Yeah. If you have specific questions about what quints and all, you can look them up online per champion. But overall, my point is here that the attack damage, flat armor, health, you know, all these are pretty standard stuff, and just what, you know, can be changed, or what you shouldn't be looking to buy is these attack speed quintessences. Honestly, anything. Don't tunnel into buying these, okay? Masteries are important as well. Nidalee, this is just a troll thing. But anyways, this is the page I use. So it's pretty standard. This is what you will see on a lot of casters, or sorry, a lot of just like tanky bruiser. This is like a bruiser page, but with a heavier emphasis on damage. So nothing to point out here. This is pretty standard, just for trading, regen, early game, as well as some health to keep you healthy. You don't need attack speed again for Nidalee, right? You don't need that attack speed. Cooldown reduction is fantastic. Dangerous game. It's important for Nidalee, I find, or it's good on Nidalee because a lot of times for team fights you could be jumping in, getting that kill, and then you get focused and drop a little bit low. But with your execute damage, you should be able to pull out the kill. Dangerous game can really help with that. This is just for early game sustain and last hitting. Double-edged sword I find is important because whenever you play these these hybrid champions, you get basically both benefits. You don't lock yourself into a choice for either one. And I think the 2% on Nidalee is very, very strong, the additional 2% damage, because a lot of times when you're going in melee form for the execute, the enemy is already trying to run away. And even if they're not, you have your heal to back you up, right? Spell weaving is important because your basic attacks, again, very easy to do when you're ranged on Nidalee, is to stack up 3 stacks of spell weaving, and then jump in with your spells. You don't need blade weaving because you don't build all too much attack damage onto Nidalee, but the 3% increase of your spells, fantastic. Armor pen, no big deal. This 1 point in frenzy, so it's up to you, right? I know some people say that, for example, 1% increase for allies to help you focus down, or consistent 1.5 rather than just 5% attack speed. But what I like about this is that it stacks, and yeah, it's just where else would you want that 1 point to go, right? Not blade weaving, that's not efficient. You've already got attack damage here. This is not worth it on Nidalee. Putting it into here, the ability powers. If you want to build AP Nidalee, then that's where you go. But for the split push Nidalee, again, this is more for when you have high amounts of AP. It's just the best choice to fill out your 21 points. So I want to point out just some of the bigger numbers here. When you get spell weaving stacked, it's 3% damage increase to your spells. Then you have double-edged sword, 2%, so you're doing an additional 5% damage, just flat out when you're in melee if you stacked up your spell weaving, and then a 3%. So that's 8% damage spells, a bonus 8% you'll be doing. And then on top of this, when they're below 50% health, it's another 5%. So 3 stacks of blade weaving, 3%, double-edged sword melee, 2%, 5%, here, 3%, 5 plus 3, 8%, another plus 5%. So 13% more damage when you go in for an execute is just too much threat. Too much threat. So I hope that outlines for you guys why this makes Nidalee so scary. Again, if you want to build a bit more tankier, so you go likes of like a Pantheon or a Renekton in lane, for example, things that are looking to win you purely in lane. You could swap to a more 9-21 build and be more tanky. But if you have the mechanics, if you have the confidence, 21-9 is just a much scarier Nidalee. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Of course, if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Just drop me a message, or just say hi sometime. Drop me a message, or ask in person. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.
There is a lighter blue affix, and this is essentially this re-rollable stat, the stat added by the Master Crafting Bench, and you can re-roll this to another stat or try and get a higher range within that same stat. Now, in addition to just adding missing affixes, things like life that you're missing, you also have the option of adding specialist sort of build-altering affixes that don't normally roll on those slots. So for example, in the image you can see 4 to 8 weapon elemental damage on a helmet, which is an off-slot stat right there, so that's something you could use to further flavor your builds as a more DPS-oriented build. And you can also see on the gloves that we have 6% increased cast speed, which